Welcome back to the Trinity Coaches Show, the basketball version going into 2016. Coach Foskey, I haven't seen you since in this room, in this setting, since Christmas and New Year, so I hope you had a Merry Christmas and moving on to a Happy New Year.
I did, thank you.
And a prosperous one in the win columns.
I hope so.
There's been some basketball played since the last time we got together. We hosted a tournament here at Trinity. Had several teams come in. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the last time we spoke, we were a couple of games into the season. We weren't really sure where we were at. We had some young pieces that we knew had to play well. We have, 6, 7, maybe even 8 games under our belt now. And we got a little better picture of what we're dealing with. The tournament you just mentioned, 2 of those games, we started that Friday night with a really good Trinity Sharpsburg team out from just south of Atlanta. They have a couple of big boys that so far this year that has given us a little trouble when we play teams with a little size. But other than that, we didn't really compete well on either end of the floor. So that one, we learned a little bit that game. Moved on to Saturday and played a Robert Toombs team that we had played previously and had a really good game. It was a physical game. Wound up winning that game by 4 the first go round. The second time we played them in our tournament, wound up playing much better, and I think wound up winning that game by 22, maybe something like that. We're really proud of the guys and the way they played the second go round against Robert Toombs. Just did a lot of things well from the start of that game. We're still, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that in that tournament, you kind of downplayed Trinity Sharpsburg as having some size. They had a lot of size.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple of kids. I know one had to be over 6'5" or at 6'5",
Mm-hmm.
and another one wasn't missing it far.
Mm-hmm.
And they had some guards that could really go. And so that was an extremely good team.
Yeah.
But what I was impressed about your guys is similar to the football team, is there was no quitting. I mean, they just kept fighting to the last horn. And so that was a very, very good team that probably opened the eyes of your players a lot, realizing that they're going to have to be like a bunch of gnats out there.
It did. They were a good team for sure. And one of the big boys you talk about was probably, he was thick too. He had some decent girth to him too. He wasn't just tall, but and you are correct. Those guys, the guys we have play hard. It's just like we talked about probably in the last 2 shows we've done. We have some youth that's going to be on the floor. We have no choice. They're going to be on the floor most of the time. And to be honest with you, they have played well for the most part. After coming back from the break, we played 2 games. One of those was a really strong John Millage team, and competed really well with them for one half of the game anyway, tied at halftime. And the young guys, I'm talking underclassmen, 10th graders, some 9th graders, have done for the most part what we've asked them to do. Really in that game, it was more of our upperclassmen that, we had a few issues that,
Well, going back to before the break, you were missing Nick Lewis. Nick Lewis, the only returning senior other than Matt East.
Mm-hmm.
So at any one time in a ball game, 90% of the game you had 1 senior and 4 sophomores.
Yeah.
And then when Nick came back, a very, very welcome addition back, because he took a lot of the pressure off Matt East. And I think the first game back, Nick had his career high in points, maybe 25, I think, or give or take a point or two, which took a lot of the heat off of Matt and a lot of the pressure. So now with him being back, now let's go back to the very, very good John Miller's team.
Mm-hmm.
You had them tied at halftime. You gave them all they wanted.
Right.
And they beat the Sharpsburg team that had given us all we wanted.
Yeah.
And so it had to be a good feeling at the end of that first half where you had competed so well against a very good seasoned team with some a lot of seniors on it, a big 6'4", 6'5" guy, very thick,
Yeah.
who we had faced in football as well. So it was a very talented team. So it had to feel pretty good competing the way you did that first half against John Miller's.
It did. They're a really good team. They have everybody back except for one kid, and they have an addition who is probably a better scorer than the kid they lost. So they're a really good team. It wouldn't surprise me to see them competing late in the season. And we know we've been doing the right things in practice. We're working on what we need to work on. And I think that first half probably validated some of that to those guys, those kids, that we're doing what we need to do. Effort for the most part is not going to be an issue with our group. It's going to be the mental aspect of what they need to do on the floor, and that's where we got a little sideways in the second half. We just made mental errors, and it led to uncontested easy layups on the other end. And when you give up 29 fast break points, to another team, that's tough.
Well, we had a little difficult time breaking their full court press at the beginning of the second half, where they scored 8 unanswered points before we ever actually got a shot off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that can be frustrating for a coach.
Yeah. And you mentioned Nick coming back. That's he's been huge for us, especially his first 2 games. Like you said, he scored 24 that first night. Was the leading scorer then. Also was the leading scorer that second night he played, and I think he had 21 that night. So he does a lot of good things. Now, we're talking about young players, but this is up and down the lineup. We're going to have to be more consistent. Mm-hmm. That's from senior to freshman. That's been one of our biggest issues in these 2 games coming back from break is consistency.
Yeah, it's a fast-paced game. It's eventually with enough playing time, these younger guys, maybe the game will slow down a little bit. They do seem to be pressing awfully hard and trying to force the situation, which runs into mistakes.
Yeah.
But overall, as a spectator, I certainly appreciate the effort that they give and how you don't give up on them, how you realize that you're limited with experience. And Matt and Nick seem to be great leaders where you don't see them fussing at the younger guys. You see them kind of want to every now and then. Yeah, I can see the frustration, but at the same time, they pat them on the head and I think they appreciate how the younger guys are giving it all they got.
Mm-hmm.
And I think going into the season, Nick even alluded to that he really looked forward to playing with this group because they play so hard and they give everything they got. So with the moments we have remaining, your region starts now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a new season. It's no wins, no losses.
That's exactly right. That's what we talk about with the team. From this point forward, we're 0-0, or starting at this point, we're 0-0. Everything else, we would love to win every game, but it really doesn't matter what we've done so far. The accomplishments, the things we could work on better, it doesn't matter. And we actually start the region playing EBA at their place, and they're always tough to play up there. So this will be a good game to kind of see where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And where we stack up in our region, because our region is very well coached. In my opinion, it's very well coached. Our region includes Bullock, Frederica, Edmund Burke, in Pinewood. And it looks like maybe Bullock is one of the more competitive teams this year. But it would not surprise me to see a mixture of everybody kind of fighting for those 1 through 5 spots in our region by the time it's all said and done.
Absolutely, and those teams that you just mentioned, I've been here at the school for 25 plus years, and every year, every season, those teams fight tooth and nail. They're not going to give you anything. They're going to be scrappy. The gyms are loud. It seems like it's playoff atmosphere every time you step in one of those gyms, and then when you step into our gym as well, the guys know each other from multiple sports. Our entire region is one big rivalry. It seems like nobody likes to lose to the other one.
That's what I was about to say. None of us like to lose.
No. You're exactly right, and it's going to be exciting. I know that in the Edmund Burke area, it's a huge farming community. Most of those boys have worked on the farms. They know what hard work is, and they will show up with clay on the mud grip tires, ready to play. So it's great people over there, but we don't want to lose to them.
That's right.
We appreciate you and your efforts and your patience with such a young team, and you're really teaching them a lot. And we wish you the best of luck starting this new season and looking to qualify for one of those 4 C's to continue the season past the last regular season. So good luck with that, and looking forward to this week in Edmund Burke.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, I'm Chuck Harwell with Community Bank of Dublin-Orange County, where our focus is you, our community. Our local lenders are here to help you with your business loans and your personal loans. Our decisions are made in the bank with an answer the same day you come in. Community Bank of Dublin-Orange County is where common sense banking never goes out of style. Other banks may come and go, but we're here to stay. We are approaching a decade of service for Dublin-Orange County. Thank you for your support. Come see us at Community Bank of Dublin-Orange County, the bank that's service built.
Welcome back to Georgia Southern. Welcome back to Trinity. I am joined with one of the coaches of the Trinity Crusaders, Miss Anna Claire, also known as AC Knight. Anna Claire, AC, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's good to be back.
I enjoy watching you on the sidelines with Lacey. A lot of times, most of the time, you're right there with her, coaching them up. And I understand at practice, you're coaching them up. It is such a wonderful thing and a wonderful opportunity for the Trinity alumni that went on and played college ball, had success at the collegiate level, to be back at Trinity, coaching and teaching, and it's quite a testament to the school, but it's also a testament to you as an individual to want to come back to the community. Tell us before we get into Trinity, tell us a little bit about your playing at Georgia Southern.
Well, I played all 4 years at Georgia Southern. We didn't win many games. We had some coaching changes, but overall, it was a great experience. I got to ended up starting all 4 years. Had a pretty decent individual career. Wish we could have won more games, and we didn't make it to the tournament my senior year. But with that being said, we won our last game, which many people in basketball can't say that, because usually you play in a tournament and you lose out. So I was able to win my last game as a Eagle. But that was good. But I'm glad to be back here. It means a little more when you're coaching at your alma mater. So I'm glad to be back.
Well, let's go into a little bit of, I know that you don't want to, it's not your character to talk about some of your accomplishments at Georgia Southern, but
I kept up with you, and I talked to your dad a lot, and I know that you had you had a national honor as well. Tell us about that.
So the top 30 women's basketball players are picked for this. It's a national honor, and it includes academics, athletics, and community service, that type of thing. I was nominated and chosen out of all the senior women's basketball players. I was chosen in the top 30.
Throughout NCAA Division I.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's quite an honor.
Thank you.
And I believe they call that National All-American.
It's got a different name to it, but it's something like that.
Well, good deal. Well, you're back at Trinity. You are. There's some other alumni that came through when you came that are also back. How does it feel to be in the midst of not only Lacey Shepard, who coached you, but you've also got Lauren Mims, who's back. Jory Walker's back, where she had played softball at Georgia Southern and came back. Do you get an opportunity to interact with them here at school?
Oh yeah, and I see Jory on a daily basis in the gym, and I love to bounce ideas off of her from things that we did when we were both playing together and things that we can do now. I try to get her to come to practice sometimes and kind of show the girls, because Jory was a tough, hard-working player, and I try to get her to come back and let them see that physicalness that players like Jory brought to the game, because sometimes we have a little bit of lack in that.
Well, a lot of times players do not understand that basketball actually is a contact sport.
Yes, sir.
And the way you guys played coming up through Trinity, you were a part of 2 state championship teams that she was on as well. Y'all would be black and blue. I mean, the floor is just another thing that y'all stayed on the floor about as much as you stayed in your bed when you were at home. I mean, because y'all would just go all out. And we were talking earlier off camera about how physical games get, and how some of the teams that you guys play against maybe not being gentlemen or young ladies, where it gets pretty daggum fierce. And being able to bring that and not being intimidated is a lot of your girls probably haven't experienced a whole lot of that.
Right, and that's something, that as coaches, it's hard to coach that, because a lot of it is just competitiveness, and that's something that, it's hard as a coach. You got to figure out how to motivate for them to bring that competitiveness, and so that's what we continue to work on every day.
So we are, just as a previous segment, we have not gotten together with the basketball team since before Christmas. So where do we stand now going into region play? So girls' record is also 0-0.
Exactly. It's a brand new season, and that's what we tell them. These are the games that matter, and those games are important, and we learned a lot of close games that we learned from. And what I tell the girls is that there's not one team on our schedule that we cannot beat, but also there's not a team on the schedule that cannot beat us. So, I mean, it can go either way. It just depends, on who shows up that day and who's ready to play and things like that. But it's definitely a brand new season. We're excited to get into region play. It's really competitive. Last year I was actually a coach at Bullock Academy. I know they lost a lot of players. They're young, we're young, so it should be pretty fun to watch.
We are young. Having lost Sydney Bozeman, how tall was she?
I think like 6'4".
6'4". Losing a 6'4" female, or male, heck, I think maybe Matt East may be, I think he's listed as 6'5", but he may be more closer to 6'4" or such. But losing 6'4" and a shot blocker, I mean, they would really have to use the broom drill to get ready for her, just shooting over the broom,
Oh, yeah.
which I used to see you do in the gym with your dad and Walker Knowles.
Yes, sir.
So how many seniors do we have?
We have 2 seniors, Amelia Gay and Elizabeth Hurd. We are, the team, we're trying to find our identity because I think, for a long time, having Sydney there, we could get beat on a drive because we knew she was going to take care of it. Looking for her all the time on offense to finish. So we're trying to find that identity, who's going to step up, score points for us, who's going to step up defensively. And so far in the season, it's been, it could be a different player every night, which is good. I hope, with the region coming up, we'll all learn, to play, everybody can show up the same night. I think, if we have everybody scoring and doing the things they're supposed to, we're going to be a tough team to beat. But so far, we've just had different people, leading score each night, which is it's a good thing to have so many people that can do that. But I'm kind of ready for them all to step up on the same night.
It's going to be very important going in the region for them all to bring their A game every game. Mm-hmm. And it makes it tougher, I think, for a coach to be able to coach against a team like Trinity where you can't box in one person.
Right.
Such as when I used to watch you get so frustrated because a coach's goal coaching against you in high school basketball was AC Knight will not beat us. Mm-hmm. Somebody else is going to have to. And they would double team you. Right. And dare somebody else to score. Mm-hmm. Or dare somebody else to beat Trinity. And of course, Coach Rick Johnson back then, he was able to coach through that, and we were still able to win a lot of games and 2 state championships. Right. But that goes back to also when you were playing at Trinity, there were 4 other girls that you had Lane Hobbs, and and I could go on, but I don't want to leave anybody out. So I wish I could talk to your girls and say, look, everybody's got to step up like you're talking about. Right. And go into region play. Now, in region play, you've got, who do you see being your toughest opponent?
Right now, I would say probably Pinewood. I've scouted them a little bit. They're very, very fast. Defensively, they get after it. And we're going to have to really take care of the ball, so it's not a layup drill for them. But right now, Bullock's very young, but they do have 2 8th graders who are really, really good players. And they're learning right now, and I'm sure by the time we get to them, they're going to be ready. So they're going to be tough too.
Yeah, and just because they're 8th graders, your girls shouldn't overlook them, because I sit beside one that played a lot of minutes as an 8th grader on a state championship team.
Yes, sir.
So if they're playing as 8th grader, they're good.
Right.
And Pinewood is scrappy, always. Their softball team won back-to-back state championships. Mm-hmm. The basketball has a history with Coach Eddie Durrance, who is no longer coaching them, but he started a tradition there that lives on today. Mm-hmm. Their population, student-wise, is a lot bigger than ours. Right. I think they have about 4 buses that they send out within the surrounding counties and bring students in. Mm-hmm. It's a great school. They got a lot going on, and they're going to be a tough one to beat.
Yes, sir. And their head coach now, actually, Elizabeth Tatum, she played for them, and I played against her for, I think, 2 years. Mm-hmm. She went on to play college, so she knows that tradition very well, and she's bringing that same kind of energy.
And she was a tough player.
Very.
Yep, I remember those days well. They used to be fierce.
Yes, sir.
Well, good luck. We're winding our time down. You're headed to region play, and I wish you the best of luck. Sorry Lacey couldn't make it today. I know that she had other things that she had to take care of, but it's an honor for you being with us. Followed your career at Georgia Southern, and hope that you have a long career at whatever your chosen field may continue to be, whether it continues to be coaching here at Trinity, which I hope it does, or moving on to other other ventures that I know that you also have interest in.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's great to have you, and it's great to have you guys viewing in tonight. We want to thank the sponsors of the Trinity Coaches Show and the other coaches show that takes place in the community by TV35. Without the sponsors and assisting TV35, this would not be possible to bring you high school sports in Dublin and Lawrence County. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week.